to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Usapang basketball, boxing at tennis sa programang Hitik na Hitik sa Sports. Yan po ang ating itatampok ngayong Sabado ng umaga sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing weekend na kung saan sports ang namamayagpag. E di paano? Bango na! Power and play na! Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Ako po si Noli Eala at ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum at ng Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Nako kaninang umaga po ang bumaga sa atin, of course kagabi pa to at napanood natin. Alam niyo ba yung ating naging guest last week na si Joshua the Passion Pasio? Well, nanalo po siya kagabi laban kay Yusuki Saruta doon sa kanilang trilogy. Sensational win, a first round PKO. Ang ganda po ng kanyang pagkapanalo. Pagsipa ni Saruta, hinawakan niya, sabay sapak sa kanan, tumba ang kalaban at tuloy-tuloy na po ang pagkapanalo. Unang round pa lamang and it's been a spectacular week for us dahil marami po tayong mga successes sa larangan ng sports. At pag-uusapan po natin mamaya yan kasama ang ating mga bisita. Pero syempre, gusto po nating batiin muna lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig all over the Philippines and worldwide. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng mga nakikinig sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. And of course, yung po mga nakatutok sa 1PH on Signal TV this beautiful Saturday morning. We'd like to say hello also to all those streaming live via Facebook ng Power and Play, ng 1PH at ng Radyo 5. Ang ating pong makakasama ngayong araw na ito ay mga bigatin. Lalong-lalo na ang ating itatampok sa ating In the Spotlight feature. Ang ating 4-weight division champion, the reigning WBC Bantamweight champion, Nonito the Filipino Flash Donaire. Mamaya po yan makakasama natin si Nonito Donaire. At mamaya rin po, kakamustahin natin in our second hour ang ating koponan na ngayon ay lalaban sa FIBA Asia Women's Cup doon po sa Amman, Jordan. And they are right now in quarantine. Makakausap natin po si Coach Pat Aquino, head coach ng Gilas Women's National Team. Sa second hour po yan. And of course, usapang basketball, tuloy-tuloy yan sa paghimay ng parating na PBA playoffs. Kasama naman ni Coach Ryan Gregorio at sports analyst Carlo Pamintuan. And then we talk about the controversy surrounding Philippine tennis. Kasama po, walang iba kundi ang Pangulo ng Philippine Tennis Association, si Attorney Antonio Cablitas. Yan po lahat mamaya, kaya tutok lamang dito sa inyong programa na paborito tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Pero syempre, tayo po ay magsisimula lagi sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Linggo, binasag ni Carlo Biado ang halos 3 dekadang pagkakatigang ng Pilipinas sa US Open Pool Championship. Come from behind ang panalo ni Biado sa finals kontra sa crowd favorite at Singaporean na si Aloysius Yap. 3-8 na ang lamang ni Yap sa finals pero isang pagkakamali lang niya, umalagwa sa 10 straight racks ang pambato ng bansa para sa 13-8 win. Si Biado ang unang Pinoy na nanalo sa prestigyosong tournament mula 1994. Ang huling kampiyon ng Pilipinas, sino pa kung hindi ang The Magician, si Efren Bata Reyes. Samantala, napilitan namang tapusin ni EJ Obiena ang kanyang 2021 season dahil sa kakulangan ng budget. Sa naging panayam ng power and play sa kanya, sinabi nito na katapusan pa lang ng Agosto ay naubos na ang pondo niya. Napilitan na raw saluhin ni Obiena at ng kanyang team ang gastos nitong nakaraang buwan kung saan nakapag-set pa siya ng personal at Asian record. Hinihintay ngayon ng Olympia na mailabas ang 1.5 million pesos niyang incentive mula gobyerno dahil sa pagbasag ng Asian record. Sa football naman, sinimulan agad ng panalo ng Philippine National Women's Football Team ang kampanya nito sa 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup qualification. Comeback 2-1 win ang siniguro ng Pilipinas sa opener nito kontra Nepal sa Group F. 89th minute tinabla ni Tanya Anis ang game para sa Pilipinas at sa 92nd minute umiskor si Camille Wilson para ibigay sa Pilipinas ang panalo. Nangungunang yon sa Group F ang Pilipinas kasunod ng isa na namang 2-1 win kontra Hong Kong kahapon. Lipat naman tayo sa boxing. Inanunsyo ng World Boxing Council ang ilang mandatory fights at kabilang dyan ay isa muling Pinoy versus Pinoy title fight. Didepensahan ni bantamweight champion Nonito Donaire Jr. ang kanyang titulo laban sa mandatory challenger na si Mark Gabalio. Si Mark Magsayo naman, target na agawin ang featherweight title kontra sa American boxer Gary Russell Jr. And of course, mamaya po, abangan nyo ang ating one-on-one interview kay Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire Jr. Sa gymnastics, 2 medalya ang kinuha ni Carlos Iulo sa katatapos lang na All-Japan Senior and Masters Gymnastics Championship. Gold si Kaloy sa kanyang pet event na floor exercise. Major bounce back matapos ang 44th place finish noong Tokyo Olympics. Bronze naman ang nakuha niya sa vault event. Target ngayon ma-defend ni Yulo ang kanyang titulo sa 2021 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships sa susunod na buwan. Sa PBA naman, isang koponan na lang ang hinihintay sa playoffs at buhay pa nga ang tsansa ng Barangay Ginebra kahit tinalo sila ng Meralco noong Huwebes. May last chance pa ang crowd favorite na makalaban sa do or die ang Phoenix para sa 8th and final spot. Ang mananalo sa dalawang koponan twice to beat TNT ang makakatapat sa quarterfinals. Mamayang 4:35 ng hapon ng tapatan ng Fuel Masters at Gene Kings kaya huwag niyong palalampasin. At habang mahimbing ang tulog ng marami sa Pilipinas, kumamada ng knockout win si Joshua Pasio, kagaya po na sinasabi natin kanina, para madepensahan ang kanyang one championship strawweight belt sa Singapore. Round 1 pa lang ng trilogy fight kontra Yusuke Saruta, nagpakitang gilas na ang 25 anyos na fighter ng Pilipinas. Sa 1 minute 20 second mark ng first round, bumagsak si Saruta matapos ang right counter ni Pasio. Sinubukang kumawala ng hapon pero sunod-sunod na siya ni Pasio hanggang mapilitan ng referee itigil ang laban. Panalo si Pasio laban kay Saruta at congratulations to the one only Joshua the Passion Pasio. Yeah, kita nyo yung mga suntok, yung pambihira po talaga ang pagpanalo ni Joshua. Nung nakausap natin siya, malinaw na malinaw, sabi niya, patutulugin ko at may bago akong ipapakita. Yung pong kanyang bagong ipinakita, yung kanyang depensa, na pag sipa nung hapon, sabay meron siyang counter na kanan at nagawa po niyang perpekto. Kaya po nanalo si Joshua the Pasio, ang kaisa-isang nananatiling world champion sa mixed martial arts. Oh, by the way, yung po mga nag-aabang naman sa Ryder Cup, yung po sa golf, malaking-malaki ang lamang ng USA team kontra Team Europe. Kanina nung iniwanan natin, 5-1 ang lamang. Mukhang 5-2 na yata, no? At mukhang nagtatapos na ang Ryder Cup ngayong umagang ito dun sa kanilang 4 balls afternoon session. Yan po ang labanan ng Amerika at ng mga tiga-Europe. At sa kasalukuyan, lamang po ang Amerikano na naghahangad na mabalik ang tropeyo ng Ryder Cup sa kanilang bansa. Alright, bago po tayo magpatuloy, syempre, meron na naman tayo pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito. Dahil nga palapit na ang playoffs na ngayon pong araw na to ay magkakaroon na ng knockout game between Phoenix and Ginebra. Ang ating pong pupulsuhan ngayong umaga ay ang tungkol sa PBA playoffs. Simpleng-simple lang po mga kapatid. Ano ang early prediction ninyo sa 2021 PBA Philippine Cup playoffs? Ulitin po natin yan. Ano ba sa tingin ninyo ang mangyayari? Early prediction ninyo sa 2021 PBA Philippine Cup playoffs. Mananalo ba dyan ang namamayagpag na TNT? Hahabol ba ang mga taga Magnolia, Meralco at San Miguel? O di kaya yung mga nasa ilalim ang kakamada at magkakaroon ng malaking upset? Mag-text lamang po kung gusto niyo makipaghuntahan sa atin, 0908-208-0629, o di kaya ay mag-comment po. Mag-comment kayo sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play, sa Facebook page ng 1PH at ng Ranto 5. Mamaya po babasahin natin ang inyong mga komentaryo. Alright mga kaibigan, ngayong umaga pong ito, tayo ay mapala dahil makakasama natin sa usapan pong ngayong umaga ang isang tao na nasa gitna po ng ng mga kontrobersya na nangyayari ngayon sa Philippine tennis. Alam niyo po, ang Pilipinas ay hindi makakalaro sa Davis Cup series sapagkat tayo po ay sinuspinde ng International Tennis Federation last year. At patuloy po itong 2-year ban ng Pilipinas dahil po sa mga reklamong inihain sa ITF. At tayo po'y mapalad ngayong umagang ito para sa ating unang panauhin na makakasama natin walang iba kung hindi ang Pangulo ng Philippine Tennis Association o PhilTA, si Attorney Antonio Cablitas. Magandang umaga po, Attorney Cablitas.
Morning, Commissioner Eala, Mike Eala.
Good to see you, sir. I'm very happy to have you on the show. Kamusta kayo, sir?
Mabuti. I'm just taking my time, doing my job, and then I just want to be clarified in all these things.
Well,
I just want to be clarified.
Kaya po maganda at nakasama namin kayo ngayon because talagang gusto nating mapag-usapan to. Although, alam niyo, marami sa ating mga sports fans ang hindi nakakaalam ng mga issues. And yet, there are so many tennis fans that are looking for the Philippines in the tennis scene. So, lalagay ko lang po yung basis. Sabi nga natin, nagkaroon po ng reklamo sa International Tennis Federation at dahil po dyan ay nagkaroon ng 2-year ban, ang desisyon ng ITF na i-ban ang Pilipinas from all ITF-sanctioned tournaments, kasama na dyan ang Davis Cup. So, Attorney Cablitas, ano po ang punot dulo nitong issue na to, nito pong pagkakasuspend sa Pilipinas ng ITF?
Okay, brief backgrounder muna, Commissioner Noli. I was with PhilTA before in 1986 up to 1992. Somehow, I had a contribution to the growth and development of Philippine tennis. When I was there as Vice President, I brought in that first Mitsubishi International Lancer Tournament, Mitsubishi Lancer Tournament. It was really lasted for almost 25 years. And then I left PhilTA because it was doing very well. Now, in 2017, nasira ng PhilTA because of the quarrels, the animosity by two groups. One group is Loweller's group of 4, Loweller, Maronilla, and the 2 Villanuevas. They were the chair. Loweller was the chairman. Randy was the vice president. The father, Lito Villanueva, was the president himself. And Maronilla is a trustee. Now, the other group is composed of Colonel Andrada and his 8-man group. I was never in the picture. Naglalaban away sila. It came to a worse that practically in I don't know, in a bad language, nababoy ang filta in 2017. They were there together since 2013, 4 long years. Awayan yan. You can see that in the media and the press releases. It was a personal animosity rivalry between Andrada. No? Wala. And then, itong grupo ni Mr. Luwiller pulled out tournaments. Luwiller at kasama niya. Wala na baboy. Filta was really in ruins na. So, one of the parents, no, si A.J. Lim, no, the father A.J. Lim, sabi niya, attorney, pumasok ka na kasi alam mo, walang nangyayari na sa tennis. 2017 na. They were really in a very, nakakahiya. Naawa ko, may masuspendidong players, they can tell this, no? Kapadusya, suspendido yan, ginawan allowance. So I have to come in with the intention of really stop this impasse, which is really damaging the Philippine tennis. Now, when I took over, I follow the bylaws. Siguro para tayo mga abogado, no? We know how to follow the bylaws. This should be, when I started that, sabi ko, I had been re-elected itong complainants ngayon, the group of 4 of Luwiller, now only 3. Instead of cooperating, in clandestine manner, when I was really in Philta in June 2017, saan ka makikita, Commissioner Noli? Behind my back, they petitioned the Philippine Sports Commission, who is the funder of all nations, to stop funding Philta. Saan ka makikita na ganyan? Stop funding Philta and its activities, tennis program. Why? Until raw, the conflict between Colonel Andrada, group of 8, and his group of 4 is settled. Paano masisettle yan? 2013, nagsimula siya, hindi sila magkakasundo. Isa pa, Mr. Luwiller, he had his UTP of 4 accredited and recognized by PEC. I called the attention of PEC kasi there should be one sport, one association. It was preparatory for this UTP to take over from Philta. That's why, pag sama-samahin yan, all the motives and objectives are there to destroy Philta.
Okay.
Now, he was...
Attorney
yes,
Cablitas, gusto ko lang pong malaman. So, ang
Yeah.
sinasabi po ninyo dito, grupo po ni John Henry Luwiller at ni Randy
Yes.
Villanueva, Lito Villanueva, at si Maronilla, lahat po yan magkakasama. Bumuo sila ng isang asosasyon, tinatawag na, sabi nyo, UTP, United Tennis Philippines. In the
Unified.
Unified Tennis Philippines. Ano po ang pakay? Was it completely politics to take over the Philta? Yan lang ang gusto nila? Is that the reason why this complaint was filed in the ITF?
I hate to conclude this, but the handwriting is around the wall. He was even asked yesterday, the other day, ni Judith, you organize this one, is really to replace Philta? Anong sabi niya? He did not answer, si Mr. Lord. Anong sabi niya? I've done so many things for Philta. No, fine. Everybody is doing things. I welcome that. Ngayon, tinanong siya ganyan, to replace Philta? Hindi. Pero alam mo, the motivations are there. Pero I assume in June 2017, September, they filed a petition around asking for a resolution ng Philta, ng UTP, na to be recognized and accredited. He's a chairman himself. Anong purpose mo dyan? And then to stop funding Philta? Yan ang purpose lang doon. Anong gusto mo dyan? Okay, ngayon, ganito. Ngayon, ganito. He was asked about that. Sabi niya, marami ako. No. Ito, the crux of the problem is this. I was moving everything. I was able to revive Philta from its ruins in 2017. Itong si Mr. Maronilla, he was even trying to contact directly Mr. Haggerty, the president. Ang kaibigan na ito. Sabi nila, the Philippine team nominated by Cablitas is not a team that should be allowed to play in Davis Cup against Indonesia. Nanalo tayo niyan. Alam mo niya? I was just in name president. Imagine, those fabrications and false pretenses presented to the IT. Ito lalabas to Noli kasi I don't want to have this fire blown up. Kasi alam mo, pangit yun natuto. Ngayon, this came to a head because you asked the Philippine tennis community what I've been doing for the last 3 years. I was really trying to revive Philta back to its feet. I'm happy to do this. Tournaments. I have 4 Cablitas Cups. Even
Makakarating po tayo dyan, Attorney
sige,
Cablitas.
okay.
I'll get to
Ngayon,
the point
ganito.
yung mga ginagawa ninyo. I just wanted to find out, kasi nabasa ko nga sa mga pahayagan at sa mga ibang dokumentong nakuha ko, na ito pong grupo na to ay nagre-reklamo sa PhilTA. At ang PhilTA ay, ang ginagamit na grounds ay dalawang bagay. Governance at saka sinasabi nilang failure to provide widespread membership. Talakayin po muna natin yan. Ano pong ibig sabihin nila sa governance? Hindi ho kayo, kasi sabi nyo nga, hindi naman kayo kasama dun sa panahong nag-aaway si Colonel Andrada at sila.
Yes.
Bakit kayo, nung kayo ay naging pangulo na, bakit ho governance? Meron ba ho kayo nagawa dyan, Attorney Cablitas?
Wala akong problema sa governance. Philippine Ladies Tennis League, FIFTF, PhilTA, yung PEC na tournament dyan. Ang governance issue dito, sila lang 4, now only 3. Alam bakit, Commissioner Noli? Silang 4 has been quarreling. They have been quarreling with Colonel Andrada. Nagkaroon ng animosity yan eh. Ngayon, sabi ko, akala ko na namatay na si Colonel Andrada, it will stop. You have been re-elected. Instead of doing that, alam mo, sinama nila, dinamay lang PhilTA. Ito, tingnan mo yung complaint na, although Will was saying na he was just suggesting raw sa ITF to do something. Parang he did not foresee na this is a wrong committed, the results committed, the results of it. He did not intend to commit so grave a wrong. This is a grave wrong from them. Governance. Sinong governance? Sila nag-aaway, 2013 magkasama sila hanggang 2017. Nag-aaway sila. Ngayon, he pulled out the tournaments. Nababoy ang PhilTA, walang tournaments. Nababoy ang PhilTA. This is really indisputable. And then press releases, tinitirans body then. That is governance. So I'm saying na, mayroong mga tao talaga who are really so recalcitrant, who are really obstinately don't want anything. Sabi ko, wala namang intensyon dito. Wala akong negosyo pang tennis. I'm just trying to revive everything. Hindi ko maintindihan itong tao. Ngayon, ang masama niyan, gumanda ng PhilTA natin. Saan ka makikita, Noli? 14 and under, nag-champion tayo sa Asia during my time. After that, nag-number 5 on the whole world in Czechoslovakia. Alex Iala, Prolia. Ngayon, ginagawa lang, may elite team raw. Informahan yung mga bata. Okay lang yan for your purpose. Ngayon, that is the governance issue. Now, the grounds they submitted in a formal complaint sa ITF, they put 2 issues. It's not really ITF. Maniniwala ka ba that the suspension is initiated by ITF? Let's not try to confuse the public. They filed a formal complaint. Governance, representation. Second issue, representation. What were they doing? What were they doing since 2013? Up to na pumutok ang PhilTA in 2017 when I took over. They should have sit down together to be responsible gentlemen. O ngayon, I open the arms to them. Ayaw pa rin. So ngayon, ang ginawa ko is first to revive PhilTA. Kawawang National Association natin. Revive PhilTA tournaments. Nag-champion tayo ngayon. Ngayon, ang masama niyan, I was about to make reforms na. I opened myself to them. Ayaw sumipot. On many occasions, ayaw sumipot. Behind our back, tira ng tira. O ngayon, ganito. These are the 2 groundless, fabricated, falsely fabrication of the facts. Ang masama niyan, they filed a complaint during pandemic, Noli. They filed a complaint with the ITF.
Yun nga. Ito, Attorney Cablitas, kasi medyo maubusan tayo ng oras, iba. I want to tackle or something. Ano ho ultimately ang gusto ng ITF? Naalisin kayo o magka-eleksyon? Ano ba ang gusto nila mangyari? Dahil sinuspendin nila tayo, now during this 2-year suspension, ano ang gusto nilang gawin ninyo?
Alam mo, Noli, ganito. Gusto nila na suspended kami. Sabi ko, hindi ito dapat sa suspension. You just called me, we sit down together. Wala. The course to an independent reviewer, which is not untrained. Saan ka makikita? I asked for documents to answer formally. Hindi ko bibigyan. Kasi raw, ang ITF dito, kaya sabi ko, Noli, kangaroo court ito. Alam bakit? Hingi ka ng particulars para to answer, ayaw ka bigyan. Di proceed, sabi ko, ang grounds nila, Noli, is violations of the revised corporation code. Mayroon ng proxy, ganyan. Why won't Mr. Lowiller and the group go to the SEC? Yan ang may jurisdiction ng violation of corporation code. Bakit nagpunta sila doon? Because they can get the suspension and everything. This is
So
something.
ang ibig niyo sabihin, sir, yung
Yeah.
ITF na gumawa sila ng independent tribunal, hanggang
Yes.
ngayon wala pang hearing yan? Hindi pa nagkaka-hearing?
Hindi, alam mo, they proceeded with the hearing and rendering a decision endorsed into the ITFJ, ginawa ng suspension. Alam bakit? Due process na lang. If you really try to file a complaint, you ask the parties, or you said it. As a lawyer, sabi ko, give me the bill of particulars. What are the basis for the suspension? Kaya ayaw ko bibigyan. They decided.
So
Walang due
wala pa rin?
process. They
Wow.
decided, they proceeded in suspension. Ngayon ganito, natatawa
Oho.
ka, two issues, governance. Sabi ko, this is illusory. Why? Ang governance dito sila lang mga apat eh. I have no problem. You ask the people here. PTA.
Yun ho,
all over the country.
yun hong membership. Okay na ho kayo, naayos na ho
Okay,
ninyo yung
ang
membership.
membership, hindi na nagawa ito for the last since 2013. Bangayan, I am now finished as of March. I'm ready for this.
Alright.
But I am expecting, Noli, a hard, ano dito ha. Alam mo bakit? Natatawa ako. We as a lawyer, no, we know the basics of the bylaws. Over the country, makikita mo, I have trustees and every provinces mayroon deputy trustees. That's how I'm doing right now.
Right,
Ayaw ko na
right,
ilabas.
right.
Alam bakit? Babanatan na naman tayo dyan. O ngayon, ganito. I'm ready with this. They are not really for peace. They want really to destroy PhilTA. That's why I feel bad because these guys, chairman ng PhilTA, trustee ng PhilTA, former PhilTA president. Ano bang gusto nila? Governance, wala. Representation, nandiyan na. Pero sabi ko, I have to be very careful because right after the intended suspension, Noli, ang ITF through Mr. Loyle and through Mr. Haggerty issued some instruction kung anong gagawin nyo. Ang daming detalye. Ako as a lawyer, huwag mo akong pagsabihan ng ganyan because I know my ano. Gawin ko yung premium, sagutin ko yung representation, that's it. Meron mo ilagay pa,
Alright.
ano ilalagay ko? Okay. So
okay.
ngayon, dito na ako. Sige.
Attorney Cablitas, so okay, let's go moving forward. Ano
Yes,
ho ang unang-una, ano ho ang plano ninyo? Are you going to
Ang plano
have
ko?
any appeal? Dahil sabi nyo nga, wala na, ito parang kangaroo court. Ano ang gagawin ninyo para ma-lift itong suspension na to?
Ang ginagawa ko, although I do not really agree with the decision, I am proceeding with what they want. Governance, I cannot do anything kasi ito lang nagbabangayan naman eh. Ngayon sila rin governance kang problem. I cannot listen to the 4 or to 3 right now just to give in to them. Sisirain. Pangalawa, representation, tapos na yan. So ngayon, ganito. Ang mga players umaangal. This should know. Kasi alam mo, binalita na suspended ang PhilTA, Noli. What do you think is, suspended ang PhilTA, kasalanan ng PhilTA. But this should also. What is the background? What led to the suspension? Sila nag-file ng complaint, which lawyer is denying. Sabi niya, ITF pro yan. Naku, hindi. Huwag tayong magbulahan ng mga ganyan. ITF suspended because of the complaint of the sport. Yan ang hindi alam eh. O ngayon, ganito.
Okay.
Sabi ko, to solve the problem. Anong solve the problem? I'm doing my job. I cannot, because the bias is there from the ITF, not ITF, but lawyer, Haggerty, the president. Tatlo lang naman yan eh. I'm not fighting ITF. I just want na they should perform themselves with some sense of responsibility. You know? Ayan, ganito. Sabi ka na, anong gagawin natin dito? Ginagawa ko na lahat. Alam mo, sabi ko sana during my interview, if these guys are honorable enough, they should go back to the ITF and ask they recant and reconsider yung suspension which they have this issue because of them. They just go back. Wala kang problema.
Obviously, Attorney Tony, hindi ho mangyayari yan. So, ito
hindi mangyayari yan. Pero I'm just trying.
Tanong ko sa inyo. Una-una kasi, ang POC ho, anong posisyon ng POC dito? Are you being recognized by the Philippine Olympic Committee?
The Philippine Olympic Committee was with me all the time. Why?
All the way.
They felt bypassed. They were felt bypassed by Lawler and the group. They went direct to the IET. Local ito, Noli. POC is easy. Ngayon, ba't sila dumiretso? Pinasuspend during pandemic. O ngayon, maangal sila. Uy,
meron ako nabasa, Attorney Cablitas, na you offered to your position even to an honorable man like Oscar Hilado, halimbawa, no?
Yes.
We know Mr. Hilado, malaking tao sa negosyo.
Respectable.
Napaka maayos at pero in that sense, ayoko pong itulak yung idea na yan. Pero are you willing to step down just to solve this problem?
alam mo, itong sinabi kasi step down, no? Parang hindi maganda pakinggan yan eh. If you step
Opo.
down, parang kang guilty. Parang kang
Parang
hindi
natalo.
I
Oo,
would rather
oo,
say
oo.
this way. Hindi, parang hindi, you're guilty. Alam mo, I'm very
Oo.
careful with the words as a lawyer. No? Ganito yan.
Tama. Oo, oo.
I told them before, I don't want to perpetuate. I just came in. I told this before, I don't
Oo,
want to
tama.
perpetuate because I just trying to revive Philippines back to its respectability. Kasi hindi pa ito nangyayari ever
Okay.
since. Ngayon, sabi
Oo.
ko, step down. Ba't yung step down? Ang ayaw ko lang, I was elected, during my term, I had been elected. They were saying that I'm just a named president. Pangit yan eh, pangit yan. It will create the wrong impression on my part. Okay,
Right,
ngayon,
right,
ganito.
right. At saka
Kaya
masamang
sabi ko,
president to yan.
noon hindi ako
Masamang
recognize.
president.
Hindi
Oh.
maganda, hindi maganda yan. So ngayon ganito, during my time pa suspended ako, everybody knows what I'm doing except this three. They don't accept it. Okay, ganito Noli. Sabi ko, noon ayaw na ako recognize. So what I did in 2021, at the start, no, I had the elections conducted with the POC in attendance. I have elected, sabi ko, I created committee and then with the board, natapos ko na itong representation. Magugulat ka, Ronnie. We might be the model of all associations because wide representation, clusters of provinces, deputy trustees, regions, trustees. I use the word trustees because you should be trustworthy enough. Okay, ganito. I'm not good hindi ko stick down. Sabi ko, I'm having been elected to have a personality to conduct these reforms with this one. Kasi hindi ka recognized to gagawa ka ng reforms. You look funny, di ba, Noli? So I have validated
tama ho
myself,
yan.
mag-election kami. We proceeded from that.
Okay.
Tapos ako, sabi ko, make it clear this one. No? I have myself elected, conduct these reforms, itong sa bylaws, but sabi ko, interim president lang ako to achieve the purpose of them wrongly accusing Philta.
Okay. And
Pag
then
nagawa ko
magkaka-transition.
Transition yan. Kaya sabi ko nga, si Mr. Hilado, Congressman John Riel Casimero, because I want people who have been tested with their trustworthiness, the respectability, which this
Okay.
three has not really shown any. They haven't
Well,
shown any.
Alam niyo po, mahaba pang usapan ito, Attorney Cablitas.
Ay, nako.
I
Just doing my
certainly...
job.
Nakakatuwa ho because kami ho, nung ako ay nasa sa Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, dumaan din kami dito, napatagal ding nasuspindi ang Pilipinas. We had to go to Switzerland to negotiate this. I had to speak before the executive board ng FIBA para po maayos to. Kami po ay naghain pa ng mga kaso sa mga international arbitration boards. So talaga pong napakahaba. But at the end of the day, Attorney Cablitas, ano po ang panawagan ninyo? Kasi kawawa ho dito ang ating mga atlet.
Kaya panawagan ko ganito. Given this real situation, what happened really? Sila lang nag-introduce itong gusot na ito. We're having Philta suspended for reasons only personal to them. Governance sila nag-aaway. Representation, ginagawa ko na yun. Wala silang nagawa since 2013. Ang ano ko sila, kawawa ang ikusos. I am more really hurt about this because it is during my time I did my best. Ang ano ang payo ko sila, para mawala ito, you go back and rectify the blunder that you have committed. Having Philta suspended at the expense of the Philippine tennis. We're on charge only, putting Philippine tennis into disrepute. They are the ones putting yun ang justification ng suspension eh. Putting, alam mo yun sa inyo sa mga basketball, no? Tama yun sa inyo, may grounds kayo. Pero ito sa amin, wala eh. Except the motivation to take over. It's as simple as that. Documented na. This is not my conclusion, but these are documented. If they want, I can give everything, even they themselves.
Hindi ho bago yan sa mga National Sports Association.
Pero alam mo, Noli, sa inyo, I have an inkling sa inyo. You want reforms. Kasi wala talaga. Ito naman, hindi ko maintindihan. 2013, 2017, wala siya nagawa.
Ay, nako. Sige po, Attorney Cablitas. Kami po nagpapasalamat sa oras ninyong binigay. At least naliwanagan tayo ng kahit konti. And we certainly hope na maayos po itong gusot na to because at the end of the day, it is Philippine tennis na ngayon ay napakaganda, no? Ang ganda po ng ating performance, as you said, no? We're doing very well. Many good players are being developed. Pamangkin ko po, si Alex is doing her best to play for the country. So talagang we
Sabi
certainly hope
Mike,
that...
you're a cousin raw. Oh.
Yes. We're very,
alam mo,
very
Noli,
close and
Noli, isa pa Noli, ha?
masaya.
Noli, alam mo, Noli, I have to tell you this. Many people are calling me stay on, Attorney Cablitas. Even our former Davis Cup players in Los Angeles offered me yesterday, Sir, we like you handle. Why? Kasi kilala ako ng mga players. Rod Rafael, Kamoy Palahan, Popit Lizardo. Sabi niya, Sir, we will collaborate with you even without ITF. Biro siya, sabi nila yan. Because they
Isa lang
know
ho
my intention.
Isa lang ang masasabi ko dyan, Attorney Cablitas. Sinabi sa akin ni Patrick Bowman nung araw, stay the course. Marami po salamat sa panahon ninyo, Attorney Cablitas.
Stay on course ako parati. Thank you,
Marami po
Commissioner Noli.
Marami po salamat sa inyo. God bless.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating Pangulo ng Philippine Tennis Association, si Attorney Antonio Cablitas. Naku, ang laking gusot. Alam naman natin kung ano yung mga nangyari dyan sa SBP. Ganyan, parang ganyan na naman ang nakikita natin dito. But again, at the end of the day, ang nasasaktan ay ang mga atleta. And certainly, we hope that yung kampo po ni Jean Henry Louvillier, and they're very welcome to talk here, ay maayos po itong problema na nakuha natin yung isang side ng PhilTA. And of course, yan ang National Association, kaya naman natin po inuna yan. But we certainly hope na maayos to kagad dahil ang dami po mga tennis players ang talagang umiiyak. Hindi lamang po loss of games, pero pati po loss of income dahil hindi sila makalaban sa mga ITF sanctioned tournaments. Alright, tuloy-tuloy po ang ating usapan dito sa Power and Play. Kanina, usapang tennis. Ito na, usapang basketball. At pag pinag-uusapan ang basketball, syempre ipapasok natin yan sa mga mabibilis na usapan. Dito po sa ating special na edisyon ng Fast Take. Ang Fast Take ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo 7 Pro Fun to Drive. At ngayong umaga pong ito, makakasama natin walang iba dito sa Fast Take Extended Special Edition ay ang ating kaibigan, ang Special Assistant to the President ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, a known sports analyst and of course champion coach. Ang aking kaibigan si Coach Ryan Gregorio at ang isa sa mga bayani. Katawagin kitang bayani ito, susunod kong isa sa naghatid sa atin ng aksyon ng Olimpiada, ang ating sports analyst mula sa TV5. Walang iba kundi si Carlo Pamintuan. Good morning, Coach Ryan. Maraming salamat. And Carlo, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning,
Kom
Noli.
Good morning.
Yes, Carlo, good morning.
Alam mo, yan Carlo, I haven't talked to you, I haven't tested you, but you know, your coverage, the way you brought out the color of the gold medal performance ni Heidelin, magandang tatatak yan sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Kom Noli. I appreciate the kind words po.
Coach Ryan, alam mo, bago tayo, mamaya makakausap ko si Coach Pat, but obviously maganda ang ating, at least andun na yung women's team natin, lumalaban na doon sa level ng Asia nung araw nga. Makalusot lang sa Southeast Asia, hirap na hirap tayo. Pero ngayon tayo nasa level na ng Asia. Your thoughts about our women's program? Dahil sabi ni Coach Pat sa akin, ikaw daw yung ikaw daw yung punong abula dyan.
Well, yes, Kom Noli, of course, with the full support of our SBP President, Boss Al Panlilio, and our Chairman Emeritus Manny Pangilinan, binibigyan talaga natin ng importansya ang ating women's basketball. And we're just hoping that we will continue to do well in the Asian level. Nakamit na natin ang ating minibiting gold medal in the Southeast Asian Games. And we're just hoping na continue ang pag-angat ng ating mga basketballistang babae. Hindi lamang men's basketball ang ating tinututukan, pati ang ating mga kababaihan. At nagbibigay din sila ng pride sa ating bayan.
Very, very well said. Natin, mahalaga yan, yung programa ng kababaihan because ang dami-dami talagang lumalabas sa ating mga collegiate ranks. Carlo, I want to ask you about itong issue ng game fixing. No? May lumabas na balita na hindi nagpakita si Daniel de Guzman ng San Miguel sa GAB hearing at dahil dyan na blacklist siya. Alam mo, I want to ask you, considering una yung yung kasong ito lahat puro video viral, wala namang tangible and sabi namin mga abogado cogent evidence. Bakit napakalaki ba nitong issue ito?
I think po kasi nadawit yung malalaking pangalan, di ba? He is part of the San Miguel Beermen, yung PBA. So everyone got involved. Everyone jumped in on the issue. Nakausap ko po si Gab Chairman Baha Mitra kahapon before he actually made the announcement. And sabi niya, they invited him a week ago. Tapos hindi naman siya pinapapunta personally dun sa Gab office. Sabi nung player, may lagnat siya. So parang for Gab, parang why is there something preventing you from joining us via Zoom? Kasi virtual meet lang naman yung kailangan ng games and amusements board. Parang for me, Gab just is trying to do its duty to make sure that the public is served and the teams that are involved and the PBA especially is protected from these kinds of issues. So tama po kayo, no? Parang puro screenshot lang at saka haka-haka yung meron tayo ngayon. But the player was given an opportunity to explain and he passed up on that opportunity. So that led ultimately to his blacklisting. Kaya hopefully we find a good, path forward kasi walang panalo sa mga issue tulad nito.
Well, Ryan, alam mo, matagal nang usapin yan, no? Yung haka-haka tungkol sa game fixing. And you have been involved in the PBA from many levels, no? From coaching to management. And when things like this come up, anong reaction mo? I mean, very honestly, yan ba ay isang bagay na nakakabagabag sa iyo as a part of the PBA family?
Yes, Kom Noli, medyo matagal din tayong nagsilbi, pareho tayo sumuporta sa PBA. At nakakalungkot kung may mga balitang ganito because you're attacking the integrity of the sport. And it is never okay. We always want to make sure that the players and the coaches and also the people behind running a team would always play with sincerity and also uphold the level of character in representing in the PBA. So yung mga ganito dapat imbestigahan. Masakit dahil tinatamaan ang liga natin, pero for as long as may mga ganitong mga sitwasyon, kailangan talaga pumasok yung Games and Amusements Board para babigyang pansin talaga at makita, matuntun kung meron ba talaga katotohanan. Sa ngayon, haka-haka lamang siya at sayang nga yung opportunity ng manlalarong iyon na binigyan naman siya ng pagkakataon magsalita para malinis na rin yung kanyang pangalan, pero he passed it up. But as far as the PBA is concerned, I still believe na tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman talaga ang mga gandang laro, sincero pa rin ang ating mga manlalaro, pati ang ating mga bumubuo ng PBA. And kailangan lang talaga masugpo natin kung meron mang kalokohan na nangyari. But at this point, it is just hearsay.
Ako po mga kapatid, sasabihin ko na sa inyo, matagal na tayo na-involved dyan as a commentator hanggang naging commissioner tayo. Wala pong game fixing. Sinasabi ko sa inyo, ang integridad po ng PBA, wala pong ganyan. At kung meron po, wala pong alam ang management ng mga teams, wala pong alam ang PBA sa ganyan. Gumawa na po ng mga hakbang ang napakaraming commissioner para po sugpuin yan. So tayo po, yan po ay mga, kumbaga, private. Kung may mga ganyan, biyahe yung tinatawag na kanya-kanya yan, hindi po yan institutional. And that's why it should not be taken against the league. I would like to come out very clearly about that. All right. Gentlemen, ito, Fastic Special Edition. Kaya meron kami mga issues na ibabatay nyo before we talk about the PBA playoffs. Kaya usapang Fastic muna. Dito, ang opinion nyo ang mahalaga. And you're given 1 minute to give your opinion. Bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit. Kaya ang walang mali, walang tama dito. So, ready ka na, Coach Ryan and Carlo, ha? Ito na ang ating unang issue sa Fastic Special Edition. Ang unang issue ngayong umaga, sa tingin nyo ba, yung nangyari sa Blackwater, na kung saan they hold the record of futility ng 19 sunod-sunod na pagkatalo na nagbunga sa pagpapalit ng coach, si Coach Nash Rosella. Sa tingin nyo ba, masusolusyonan ng Blackwater yung kanilang problema sa pamamagitan ng coaching changes para maging contender? I will begin with you, Coach Ryan. 1 minute. Go!
Well, it's an aspiration for them to obviously be better in the next conference. But yung goal nila is not really that huge. Meaning, obviously, they're not shooting for the championship. All they want to do right now is to break the 19-game losing streak. Medyo mababa lang yung kanilang expectation ngayon. But at the same time, will it change the course of the team and the direction that they're heading? We don't know. Probably yes, in terms of having a new voice. But in reality, what they need is to improve their manpower complement. Doon talaga sila problema. They have to look at the people that they have right now, the players, and see whether they can compete at a high level. You can see the teams are medyo medyo may parity na ng konti sa PBA. Ang dami ng 4-7, sayang yung opportunity ng Terra Firma, but for Blackwater, all they need to do is come up with a team that can break their losing streak.
All right. Well, alam natin na mahirap. Minsan, nasa mental na yan.
Yes, exactly.
Araw-araw gumigising ka na natatalo ka. So, mabigat talaga. Carlo, same issue. Yan bang pagpapalit ng coach ay solusyon sa mga problema ng Blackwater to bring them back into contention? 1 minute, Carlo. Go.
It could be part of the solution, but it is not the only answer. I think Blackwater needs vision and they need patience. For Coach Nasha Sela, nakakapanghinayang na napaka-iksi nung nabigay sa kanyang panahon. We're talking about 2 years, but really, we're talking about 2 conferences na nakapag-coach siya with Blackwater. We were talking sila makapasok in the quarterfinals of the Philippine Cup. It's difficult to compete without an import. So, may halong malas, yes, but for me, vision is really needed. Kailangan nila ng plano for the next 5 years. And the replacement of a coach can be part of the plan, but they need something more drastic. They need like a clear direction in the next 5 years, not just 2 years na binigay nila kay Coach Nash.
Of course, ang malaking pula dito, Carlo and Coach Ryan, is the fact that marami kasi silang na-trade na player. Kaya, ang sinasabi ng mga tao, ayaw nyo matalo, pero patuloy kayo gumagawa ng mga hakbang na points to that, no? For me, I think you're right. Both of you are right. Coaching is just one part of running a team. But dahil kaya ka nga binigyan ng 5-year time when you entered your expansion, dahil ang tingin ng PBA, sa ika-4, ika-5 taon mo, contender ka na kung itatago mo lahat ang iyong mga draft picks. But I like your point also, Carlo, about minala sila dito back-back Philippine Cup Nobody's talking about that. And I think that's a very, very interesting point na sinabi mo. Coach Ryan, sa tingin mo ba, panahon na magkaroon ng tinatawag na idea of relegation? Yung bang, pagka hindi ka, kagaya sa mga ibang liga, pag hindi ka pumasok, ilalaglag kita sa developmental league. Is that an idea that should be explored?
That's an added motivation for players to be competitive every conference. You've talked about the journey of Blackwater, and Carlo obviously is correct na usually kasi pag may butas ka sa iyong roster, the import can plug it in. If you can get a super import, then okay ka na. But you take a look at the history of Blackwater, for example. They drafted Wami Chongson in 2014. And now Wami Chongson is one of the best players in Terra Firma, averaging close to 15 points per ball game. Brian Heruelo also was drafted in the same year. Brian Heruelo is with TNT, and Raul Soyud. Lahat ng yun, wala na doon sa kanilang koponan. The following year, 2015, si Art de la Cruz ang kanilang de-draft. Also is now with Barangay Ginebra. 2016, first draft sila, di ba? With a special draft with Macbelo. Macbelo is also not in the roster. 2017, Raymar Jose. Wala na rin si Raymar Jose, was traded to Meralco Balls. And finally, 2018, Ray Parks. We obviously know the reason. Parks is no longer in the league. And 2019, Maurice Shaw. So you look at the draft picks of Blackwater, yung last 5-6 years nila, wala na sa kanila yung mga players niyan. So it is obvious that they have to sit down and look at exactly where they want to go. At kung meron man incentive ang PBA, probably we can look at that also, na kung hindi ka nagpa-perform at the top level, then baka, para lang again, puspusan ang pagpiprepare ng mga kupunan to be in the elite level.
Excellent. Maganda yung punto mo, Coach Ryan, dahil nakita natin lahat ng mga player na yun magagaling pero wala na sa kanilang team. So paano ka magiging contender? Of course, Baseramer is a terrific player pero hindi siya nagagamit ng mahusay. He's not played really well, and I'm afraid na baka susunod na mawala dyan si Baseramer. So again, that's something that management has to really address. All right, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Alam naman natin na marami ng players ang tumitingin. Meron nang napunta abroad, kasama na natin si Kai na papunta na ng NBL. There are many young players going abroad. So, sa likod ng patuloy na pagpunta ng mga top Pinoy players abroad, dapat na bang alisin itong cap sa Phil foreign players ng PBA just so magkaroon ng new and fresh blood na papasok sa liga? I'll begin with you, Carlo. You have 1 minute. Go!
For me, Kom, I don't think that the opportunities of Filipino players to go to Japan and Korea and Australia, I don't think that should be the reason why we should take out the cap on Filipino foreigners. I think we just should take that out because, you know, in this situation, hindi na siya kailangan eh. It's so difficult already to be able to procure the necessary requirements para makapasok sa PBA. We're talking about players like Jason Brickman, who's going to Taiwan, and Jeremiah Gray. Mga manlalarong may dugong Pilipino naman talaga, pero nahihirapan pa rin buuin yung mga papeles na kailangan to be included in the PBA. So for me, that is enough hindrance already para pigilan yung mga hindi Pilipino para makapasok. So we should open everything up. We should allow, you know, teams to sign up as many Filipino foreigners as they want. Kasi lahat naman yan Filipino eh. If we're fighting for Jordan Clarkson and his Philippine citizenship and he's playing for FIBA, then sa PBA, kailangan din natin mag-adjust. I think the PBA should revisit that rule.
Very good. Well, alam naman natin yung Phil Foreign Cup na yan was placed at a time na talagang magulo yung mga issue tungkol sa mga eligibility ng mga Pinoy. Coach Ryan, same issue. Ngayon na marami ng Pilipino ang umaalis, naghahanap ng ibang paglalaruan. Is it time to remove that Phil Foreign Cup rule ng PBA? You have 1 minute. Go, Coach.
My straight answer there, Kom Noli, is for as long as masisigurado natin na talagang Pilipino sila. Isa sa kanilang magulang ay Pilipino, and I don't want to be a party to a struggle that we had a few years ago, yung nakapasok yung mga PhilShams. So if we can ascertain na talagang Pilipino, by all means, it will also improve the level of competition. Yung mga Pilipino na nandito sa Pilipinas will definitely improve themselves to be at a higher level to compete against Phil foreign players. It is correct. We're fighting for the right to be represented by Phil foreigners. Jordan Clarkson is obviously at the top of our list pagdating sa ating Gilas Pilipinas. And we've been praying na sana makakuha siya ng kanyang clearance. Ganun din dito sa PBA. It will again make the PBA a lot more exciting. New talents will come into play. And dadami ngayon yung magaling naman lalaro at makakakita tayo ng panibagong putahe.
Well said, pero I like that point na siguraduhin natin na ito yung mga Pilipino. And of course, alam natin kaya nangyari nung nakaraang panahon, Coach Ryan, kaya nagkaroon ng rule na yan. But you know, Carlo, alam mo, ang PBA is a private league. Again, and now we are 21st century thinking. Yung panahon na yon, nung mga 90s, kasi naman talagang walang liga. So ang mga Pilipino kulang sa paglalaroan. Pero ngayon, ang dami ng liga. May liga tayong NPBL, meron tayong liga na NBL. Marami ng liga na pwedeng pasukan. Nung araw, yan ang issue. Kaya natin nilagyan ng cap kasi wala eh. Yung mga local board. Is that still a valid o PBA? Dapat na bang ibukas lahat yan, yung liga na yan, basta kahit na sino pwede na maglaro?
I think valid pa rin yung damdamin na yan, Kom, kasi marami pa rin fans that feel also the similar way. Na pag hindi sila nakakakita ng homegrown Filipino, parang they can't relate as much. And I think it's a mentality that we will have to address na kailangan baguhin, di ba? As Coach Ryan said, if you're Filipino, then you're Filipino. Walang tanong-tanong. There should be no divide between being born here and being born elsewhere. Kasi nakikita na nga natin, di ba? Parang for example, magkapatid pero magkahiwalay yung rights as a PBA player. We're talking about Matt Ganuelas-Rosser and Brandon Ganuelas-Rosser, for example. Iisa lang naman yung magulang, pero yung isa is a Filipino, the other one is a Phil foreigner. So I think aside from just erasing that rule completely, there needs to be an adjustment. Kailangan nating mag-adjust ng konti towards the situation because we need the injection of a lot more talent. We need more excitement into the league, and welcoming those players will only make the PBA better.
And another point there, Carlo and Kom Noli, even in the NBA, alam naman natin na yung NBA, napakadaming mga galing na mga manlalaro from the US. But as of December 2020, meron ng 107 European or foreign players playing in the NBA. At pati yung kanilang last MVP, alam naman natin, si Nikola Jokic, hindi naman tubong Amerika yan. So you will see that pati ngayon yung mga homegrown talents, nagkakaroon sila ng motivation to improve their game, make sure that their craft is better dahil nga nandyan na ang competition. So if we can infuse that kind of a mentality in the PBA, let everybody compete for a roster spot, then obviously talagang tataas din itong excitement na meron ang ating pinakamamahal na liga.
Right. Well said. And I really believe that the PBA, sabi nga nila, nire-review na nila yung Phil Foreign rule na yan. And let's just hope for the best na talagang ma-address nila itong issue na to. Let's go to our third and final issue before we go to the playoffs. Pagkatapos ng elims ng Philippine Cup, ito na, nakikita natin na angat pa rin yung mga top teams, yung mga paborito, katulad ng traditional powerhouses na Talk and Tex, Magnolia, Meralco, and of course, San Miguel Beer. Meron pa bang pag-asa, gentlemen, na magkaroon ng tinatawag na parity sa liga kung saan yung mga nasa ilalim ay magiging contender? And what do you think should be done para maabot itong level na to? I'll begin with you, Coach Ryan. 1 minute, go!
But Office of the Commissioner is always there trying to assess whether the trade or the movements of players will instill parity in the league. Yes, nandyan yung mga kupunan ng TNT 10-1 right now. Nandyan ang Meralco 9-2, fantastic development for that team. Considering na ito, medyo matagal talagang niluto ito. And San Miguel and Magnolia. But makikita natin, umaakyat na itong Northport. Umaakyat na maski yung Terra Firma. Pati yung Rain or Shine, nandyan na, middle of the pack. So makikita natin na humahabol na rin yung mga ibang kupunan. And what I like is, nakikita rin natin na pati ngayon sa number 8 slot, the former champion na yung Barangay Ginebra is fighting for survival against Phoenix. So whether a-achieve ba natin yung sinasabi nating parity? Because ang sinasabi ng mga fans masyadong predictable. Sana mangyari yon, pero sinasabi ko nga, itong pag-angat ng Northport nagpapakita na yung mga teams na dating nasa ilalim, unti-unti na rin umaakyat. Which is really good for the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Ang Northport has done very, very well. Maganda ang kanilang mga nakuhang players at talagang nagpo-produce. And right now, they are knocking on the door. Carlo, same issue. After the PBA eliminations, we still see the powerhouses on top, and we still see the teams that always get eliminated na natanggal na naman. Can we still achieve parity in the league? At ano ang dapat gawin ng PBA? 1 minute, Carlo. Go.
I think yung pinakamalinaw na sign that we're moving closer towards, league parity is we're talking now about Meralco as a powerhouse team in the Philippine Cup. It is something that they did not do. It is something that they struggled with. Hindi nga makapasok sa playoffs itong Meralco, but now they're one of the top teams because we are in an environment that allows for a team like Meralco to get better. We're talking about one game, that Alaska could have won against San Miguel that could have allowed them to make it into the playoffs. So really, yung Blackwater lang po talaga yung hindi nakakuha ng magandang performance here in the Philippine Cup. Sila lang yung naiwan, but then all of the other 11 teams had an opportunity actually to make it into the playoffs. And now another fact is sa ating pong tatlong quarterfinal matchups na set na, all of those games were separated by 3 points or fewer. Ganun po kalalapit yung naging elimination round games ng Meralco versus NLEX, Rainer Shine versus Magnolia, at SMB versus Northport. So I think that there will be upsets in the upcoming quarterfinals, which just shows that the league is, in a good shape right now.
All right. Well, pinag-uusapan na rin naman yung playoffs na parating na. So let's go to the playoffs itself. And of course, it starts with a knockout game tonight. I guess ang tanong, gentlemen, is are you surprised Ginebra is in a knockout game, Coach Ryan?
Historically, yes, I am very surprised. But ang isa pang sorpresa is sa hirap ng kanilang tinatahak ngayon, injuries, pati yung health protocols ng kanilang mga key players, can you imagine may chance pa sila? Yun ang pinaka-sorpresa sa akin. So all they need to do right now, and Coach Tim would attest to this, it's a very rough conference for them because they're still trying to make Stan Hardinger stabilize in the system of Barangay Ginebra. Then all of a sudden, they lost Japet Aguilar. And then a few games after, they lost Kari Thompson. So talaga nahihirapan ngayon sila. But alam mo naman itong never say die attitude ng Barangay Ginebra. Bigyan mo ng pagkakataon yan, sigurado hindi nila papalagpasin. And the same goes to Phoenix. They still have another chance at 4-7 because of a superior quotient against Terra Firma. And they will definitely make sure that meron pa silang chance to go up against the number 1 seed na TNT. Nasasaktan ako sa Terra Firma because pareho naman silang 4-7. Ganon ka-importante ang quotient system. Nawala sila sa senaryo dahil nga hindi sila nakakuha ng magandang puntos pagdating doon sa ating quotient mechanism.
Very quickly, Carlo, what is the key? Alam natin parehong koponan medyo nalampa. Mawawala si Vic Manuel sa Phoenix, nawalan nga ni Slaughter, si Scotty Thompson at saka si Japet on the part of Ginebra. What is the key to tonight's game?
Ako, tinitingnan ko lang dyan yung minuto na lalaroin ni na Christian Stan Hardinger, Stanley Pringle at L.A. Tenorio. In their last game against the Meralco Bolts, all of those players played 40 minutes. It's something that Coach Tim Cone was forced to because his bench was not performing. So if they play that much again, baka masyadong mabigat na para sa mga tatlong magagaling na players na yan para buhatin ang kanilang koponan. They need some help, so the bench production needs to step up for Barangay Ginebra to be able to beat Phoenix.
All right, let's go to the matchups, Coach Ryan. San Miguel will face Northport. Ito yung very close na 4 versus 5 matchup kung saan Northport has had 2 straight wins, convincing wins, and of course, Greg Slaughter, Robert Bolick, and Julian Malonzo are playing so well. What is your thoughts on this series?
That's going to be a very, very close one. And Coach Pido Horencio is so confident entering that playoff series against San Miguel because meron na siyang panapat kay Junmar Fajardo. Greg Slaughter, I feel like, has regained his enthusiasm in the game. He's playing great basketball. He has something to prove. In his last game, especially that block shot against Gabe Norwood, pinakitaan tayo na he's not just doing well offensively, but he's making people understand that he can be trusted also defensively. But the key to that team is really Robert Bolick. The guy is simply a machine. Alam na alam niya what buttons to press, ano ba ang kailangan niyang gawin to increase their chances of winning. The triple-double performance is a great confidence boost for him entering the quarterfinals on the best of 3. Plus, of course, sila Malonzo, fantastic find for Coach Pido Horencio. Anthony is still there, being the stabilizer in that team. And for San Miguel, marami sila mga players who are also injured at this point. They're still trying to include again Junmar Fajardo, who has missed so many games in the last conference. So it's going to be a close one. Experience-wise, lamang yung San Miguel doon. Pagdating sa hunger factor naman, everybody just wants to dethrone San Miguel as the best team in the last 7 years in the All-Filipino Conference.
Well, as they sabi nga ng Northport, I think they found the formula. They remember their history with San Miguel. They lost their own twice to beat before. So they're hoping that makakabalik sila. Of course, on the other hand, San Miguel has been gelling so well with CJ Perez finally coming out of the rut. Carlo, let's go to the Magnolia Rain or Shine series. That Ambueva Sanggalang na tandem ay parang Pampanga na hindi connection na hindi magiba. Do you think that series will go down to the wire?
It could definitely come because Rain or Shine holds a 3-point win, 75-72 I think was the final score. Rain or Shine holds a 3-point win against Magnolia, and they did it playing Rain or Shine basketball. What do I mean by this? Tinanggal nila yung usual na laro nitong Magnolia. They forced them into a situation, into a pace that Magnolia was not really comfortable with. Kaya naman nasungkit nila yung panalo na yan. Yung maganda kasi dito, even if underdogs yung Rain or Shine, napakatatapang ko nung mga batang players nila. No? You see Leonard Santillan finally hitting his stride. Nandun yung JV Mocon, of course, Rain ng Batak. But even some of their other rookies are playing very well. Their youngsters are playing very well. Anton Asisio is doing well as they showed in that game against San Miguel Beer. There is a different kind of confidence with this Rain or Shine squad, and I'm definitely a fan dun sa mga changes na inintroduce ni Coach Chris Gavina, because even if they're going up against powerhouse teams, they have the self-belief na kaya nila to pull off the upset.
All right. And of course, yung sinasabi mo, Coach Ryan, Meralco, one of the teams that have, preseason favorite. I thought Meralco was playing very well. I thought they had the best pickup, yung mga trades na nakuha nila during the off-season. They're going up against a dangerous NLEX na wala si Kiefer Ravena. Is this something na, obviously Meralco has that advantage?
Oh, obviously, and especially now na nakabalik na yung kanilang strong players like Cliff Hodge, who had to sit out a few games, and also Chris Newsom. And what I like right now is we've talked about a team that has been together for a long time. So they did not really overhaul their team. They just plugged in what they felt like yung mga gaps ng kanilang kupunan. And Mac Bello is just an incredible find for Coach Norman Black. And Anjo Karam. I thought Anjo Karam in the last few games really stabilized the team. When Aaron Black was out, the other two players were out. They badly needed victories against Blackwater and Terra Firma. The guys who seldom played in the first few games all of a sudden stepped to the plate and performed magnificently. And now, even if hindi nila kinailangan yung mga laro towards the end, pwede na lang nagpahinga yung kanilang mga manlalaro, they still went out to win yung last two games yan, and that is why they are 9-2. They're obviously a tournament favorite, and we're hoping na makapasok din sila sa finals. Me personally, as the alternate governor of Meralco Balls. And my feeling here is pagdating sa tao, lamang itong Meralco. Pagdating sa advantage naman because of that twice to beat edge, medyo dihado itong NLEX Road Warriors.
All right. And of course, finally, the last series na hindi pa tapos. Sabi nga natin, malalaman natin today yung mga kalaban ng talk and text. But Carlo, ang tanong ko lang sa iyo, with the way they have performed and that kind of lineup, especially with Mikey Williams, a super rookie coming in, is talk and text unbeatable?
I don't think there is such a thing as unbeatable, but if there is, at least in the quarterfinals, napakalapit dyan ng TNT Tropang Giga, because you are asking either Phoenix or Barangay Ginebra to survive 3 straight knockout matches. Tatlong sunod-sunod yan, and because of the way the games are being played in the current pandemic, sigurado pagod yung mga teams na makakatapat nitong TNT. So yes, they are highly favored to march into the semifinals, one of the title favorites as well.
All right, as a final parting shot sa inyong dalawa, your Final Four predictions, gentlemen. Unahin kita, Coach Ryan.
TNT will survive in the quarterfinals, and of course, Meralco Balls also. San Miguel pa rin because of the history and the experience, and I think Magnolia because of Calvin Abueva. Yun ang magiging Final Four ko.
Ikaw, Carlo.
Coach Ryan went with the top four. I'll go with three of the top four and say that I think Rain or Shine has enough to upset Magnolia.
Wow, that's
Oh,
gonna be interesting. Maganda yan, maganda yan. And I agree with you. With the way Calvin of Tana suddenly is playing, the guy is very good and maaaring maging secret weapon. Plus, believe talaga ako kay Chris Cabina, Coach Ryan. Magaling itong coach na to. I like him. I've always liked him. And I think he will do very well for Rain or Shine. Gentlemen, maraming salamat sa oras ninyo ngayong umaga na to. Alam ko na medyo mahaba-haba ang ating usapan, but I'm sure a lot of the fans are very excited for the playoffs. Maraming salamat sa inyong panahon binigay sa Power and Play.
thank you
Thank
very
you,
much, Kom Noli. Always a pleasure. And I just want to say hi to my mom. Every Saturday, nanonood sa iyo yan, Kom
Uy,
Noli.
tita!
Mami Lucille, good morning.
Tita Lucille, magandang umaga. Alam ko kasama niyo si Coach Alan kasi nag-text kami kagabi.
For sure.
At kaya magandang umaga kay Tita Lucille. Carlo, maraming salamat. Coach Ryan, see you at the games. And good luck. Stay safe, ha? Yan po mga kaibigan ng ating mga kaibigan, si Coach Ryan Gregorio at si Carlo Pamintuan. Parehong mga matitindi. At kita nyo naman ang paghimay ng PBA playoffs talagang eksaktong-eksakto. Mamaya na po ang ating knockout game, Ginebra kontra Phoenix. Alright, bago tayo mag-break, konti paalala lamang mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption. Auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Kami po ay magbabalik sa aming pagbabalik, Coach Pat Aquino ng Gilas Women's National Team. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun in your first driving lesson?
the future. The Giga Life in just one pack. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's Tiwa? Simple, smart ako.
Ang Power and Play ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum. Yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, paano mo masasabing nakaka-enjoy i-drive ang sasakyan mo? Isa lang ang sagot ko dyan. Siyempre kapag ang minamaneho mo ay Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Luxurious ang exteriors at comfort-filled naman ang interiors. Intelligent dahil meron itong automatic tailgate opening, engine start, at climate control na pwede mong makontrol using its smart key. Perfect pa pang long drive dahil meron itong large sunroof, HD touchscreen, wireless mobile charging, at 360 around view monitoring. Pro na pro ka with the Tigo 7 Pro dahil available na rin ito for as low as 88,000 pesos all in. Hanggang 120,000 din ang cash discounts exclusive ngayong September. Open pa for free test drives kaya i-schedule mo na ang appointment sa Cherry Dealer today. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride Motorcycle Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. And it's never too early to start getting ready for the holidays. Now's the right time to plan the perfect gifts for your loved ones to avoid the holiday rush. For all your delivery needs this coming holiday season, Joyride Super App is here. Now available in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Laguna, Baguio, and soon in Bulacan. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Resto Bar Group, home of fried eating, with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery, located in Calia Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar in Poblacion, Makati. You may call 0977-157-0499 or 0966-854-4048 or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City, and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. For inquiries, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Presiderm, your most trusted skincare. Mga kaibigan, sa panahon ngayon, sa gitna ng pandemya, higit natin kailangan ang mga taong ating maaasahan. Mga lugar na makakapagbigay sa atin ng kaligtasan, mga bagay na ating kakapitan sa anumang oras. Yung sigurado, yung pwede nating tawaging most trusted. Parang Presiderm, your most trusted skincare. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Power and Play would also like to thank the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls. And Lick Hobby, weave by weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. And Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live smart. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga tagapagtuguyod ng Power and Play. At this point, mga kaibigan, gusto na po natin ipasok ang naging panayam natin sa head coach ng Gilas Women's National Team na ngayon ay lalaban doon po sa Amman, Jordan. Walang iba kung hindi si Coach Pat Aquino. At kasama po natin ngayon ang head coach ng Gilas Women's National Team na of course lalaban dyan sa FIBA Asia Women's Cup sa Amman, Jordan. Walang iba kundi si Coach Pat Aquino. Coach, maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin dito sa Power and Play. Kamusta ka?
Kamusta rin? Kom Noli, mabuti naman po. Maraming salamat po sa invitation.
Alam mo, unang-una, alam namin na kararating, a couple of days na dumating kayo dyan. Kamusta ang inyong naging biyahe? At kamusta naman ang inyong reception dyan sa Jordan?
Okay naman po yung biyahe namin. Got here, siguro mga almost more than 12 hours yung flight. So, may tagal po. But the reception here in Jordan is wonderful. Okay naman po sila. Yung protocol po sa FIBA bubble was great. So, yun, pagdating nila sa airport, swab, pagdating dito, nakuha namin yung sa hotel, nakuha na po namin agad yung result.
So, ngayon, Coach, good. So, ngayon, Coach, naka-quarantine kayo. Ilang araw yung quarantine ninyo before you are allowed to go out?
They said that before mga 3 days, but eventually, if we get the swab result again, we were swabbed again today. So when we get the swab result tomorrow morning, pwede na po kung lumabas at makapag-practice.
Alright, well, mabuti yan. At kasi magsisimula na kayo sa 27, no? Kailan ba simula? Di ba? Parang 27 ba, Coach?
Opo sa 27 po, Monday po.
Oo, kaya kailangan talagang medyo maghasa na ng konti at magpa-kondisyon. Well, during this quarantine, are you doing anything? Are you doing anything with the team?
We had weight workout kanina at mga konting conditioning workout doon sa gym. So sa buwan ng hotel. Everything okay naman. Kaya nga lang sila naman today.
Kamusta ang preparation ninyo, Coach, nung sa bubble na ginawa nyo dito sa Pilipinas? And what is the mindset? Kamusta ang mga bata? Kamusta ang mood sa mga players?
Okay naman po. Medyo syempre very uneasy because of the COVID. But aside from that, they were excited to be back and medyo nagkakaroon pa ng konting adjustment and I think they're ready. Siyempre, mahirap yung 2 linggong preparation lang. So, but sabi nga nila, we're just glad to be here, makapag-compete and show again what we can do in FIBA Asia Cup.
Well, alam naman natin, nung araw, ang ating, kumbaga, pinag-iisipan lamang ay paano makalusot dun sa ating division sa Southeast Asia level, no? Sa Southeast Asian level. Pero ngayon, ang ating pinag-iisipan na ngayon, pinag-uusapan ay ang paglaban sa pinakamagagaling na teams sa Asia. And that is a terrific jump para sa Pilipinas, para sa programa ng women's basketball, and of course, para sa Gilas Women's National Team. Coach, I know you're facing a tall order. What is your mindset dito sa ganitong klaseng competition na ang kalaban natin sa grupo natin ay number 7 na China, number 3 na Australia at saka number 34 na Taiwan?
Well, yung mindset namin is, gusto namin ipakita sa kanila na we deserve to be here. We've been always, siguro, the perennial, sinabi natin, perennial 7 days. But sabi ko, yung being here in level 1 and competing with the best of Asia, not only the best in Asia, but probably the world. And mas maganda yung magiging outcome or the future of women's basketball sa Pilipinas.
Absolutely. And talaga namang pag ganyan ang exposure ng ating mga players, talagang sila ang magbe-benepisyo. Have you seen the teams, Coach? Nakita mo na ba ang makakalaban natin? Paki-describe mo nga sa atin itong mga makakaharap natin dyan sa FIBA Asia Women's Cup.
Nakita ko na po, iba lang, siyempre nakita ko po, medyo lalaki at mas malaki pa sa akin ng konti. Tapos yung China, dumating po kanina yata maaga. Nakita ko rin, nandito po yung mga WNBA player nila dalawa. Tapos ito mga new faces na pinapakita mga iba't ibang team dito po.
So talagang ang pinadala dyan ng mga teams na makakalaban natin ay mga A-team nila. Yung talagang solid na team nila.
Opo. Yun po yung nila. Yun yung talagang laging ginagawa nila dito sa mga ganitong competition just sa Asia palagi. Especially with Australia and New Zealand coming in about 4 years ago, first FIBA Asia Cup nila. Hindi pa nananalo ang Australia. So, laging Japan. So, talagang gusto nila makatalo ang Japan. Pero Japan, from the Olympics, being silver medalist and, giving a run of the money from the USA. Siguro, masabi natin na mabigat itong competition.
Alright. Well, alam natin na mabigat talaga yung grupo natin. Ito format na to ay simple at mabilis. So talagang no time to make any mistakes. But again, because we're facing some of the best teams in the world, alam natin na sabi mo nga in one of your interviews, tempered ang expectations. No? But Coach, ikaw, what is the game plan na inilalatag mo? At least for, just to be competitive. Ano ang naiisip ninyo na gagawin ninyo, hopefully to keep in step muna? Are you planning to play slow? Are you planning to play deliberate? Ano ang plano niyo, Coach, when the competition comes?
Actually, Kom, yung laging sabihin natin, goal namin is to really play our very best or to show them how Filipino ballers play. You can see we're small but gritty and fast and talagang lalaban. Yun lang gusto kong mapakita sa nila na mababack out, na talagang mababack step na basta sigurado pagkalaban mo Pilipinas, pipilit nila lahat. Yun gusto kong and for a fact, we've been doing that for the last 6 years to FIBA Asia Cup. Nakikita natin na talagang lumalaban tayo. Hindi tayo basta-basta bumibigay. And yun lang siguro yung main goal namin for the meantime. But definitely, one win and sana hindi tayo ma-relegate. That's a it's really high na makakakit ulit.
Sana nga at kahit isa makasilak tayo lalong-lalo na sa grupo natin. Although sabi mo nga hinay-hinay sa pag-iisip ng yung expectations natin, no. You talked about your team, a fighting team. Alam natin 'yan lalong-lalo na with your veterans, sila April, sila Janine and the others. But you also have some very new players, Coach, kinabibilangan led by, of course, Ella Fajardo, isang NCAA Division I player. And then you have Camille Clarin, you have Christine Cayabyab, and some others. Anong impressions mo dito sa ating mga bagong players, Coach? How have they been with the team? And of course, how can they help sa ating kampanya?
Well, in the first place, ako sila kinuha is, ito na yung magiging future natin for women's basketball. Sila Ella Fajardo, Camille Clarin, Silvia. The players have played internationally with me sa 3x3, sa FIBA 3x3 under 18, and they were successful in winning the first medal in 3x3 for women sa Asia Cup in 2019. So, coming in, a lot of expectation from them because of what they did in the AST. But even yung bata and expectation nila from playing with yung mga artists, we call it artists. Medyo maninipo lang konti. But sabi ko nga, napaka-swerte ko and with my veterans being their artists, helping them out in adjusting and finding out the system and looking forward with what they have as talents na makatulong sa.
Alright. Well, alam natin na marami pa yan at sana nga lalo pa tayo magpalakas ng ating koponan. And we know that your program is amazing. Napakaganda ng recruitment program ninyo sa inyong pagpunta sa iba't ibang lugar ng mundo, lalong-lalo na sa Estados Unidos. And talking about recruitment, we also know that na-recruit ang ating top player, si Jack Animam sa Serbia. Unang coach, ikaw ba yung inayang na wala dyan si Jack? And do you think it would have changed anything?
Yeah, it would have changed something. Jack is a very, very aggressive player. Yung leadership niya, alam niya yung experience, nakapag-experience na siya. She's been with me since 16 years old and international. So, malaki talaga si Jack. Nakakapanghinayang, but it's her future and we wish her the best. And naman, ayaw naman na sabi niya sa akin na when the Gilas program is having a Gilas tournament, nandiyan siya ulit sa atin. So, I'm hoping that makasama namin siya ulit.
Yun nga, magandang punto yun, Coach, no? Na sana makasama natin ulit si Jack sa next Gilas program. How do we assure? Kasi may mga nagtatanong din, even in social media, na bakit hindi nakasama yung ating top player? Hindi ba yan, wala bang mga provision yan sa kanilang mga kontrata na pag national team pwedeng excuse at pauwiin para makalaro sa mga competitions ng national team? Paano ba yan? Is there a provision for that? And paano natin masisiguro na sa mga susunod na laban ng Gilas Women's, nandyan si Jack?
We talked about it and I think I'm one of his advisors about that. And it's unfortunate lang talaga that this is her first contract. And talagang sabi niya, Coach, pagpigyan mo lang ako. And sabi ko, okay naman. So, I hope and she promised me that the next PBA Cup or the next tournament that we'll be having, she'll be right there. And and to her contract naman, sabi niya, wala naman daw problema. So I given the benefit of the doubt. But the thing is, she said to her words na I just it's a person na makakapag na sana makasama namin siya.
So in other words, Coach, talagang it was a choice. In other words, gusto lang niya muna ma-experience itong initial na paglalaro niya sa Serbia. Otherwise, pwede sana siya maglaro sa national team.
Yeah, definitely. Pwede siya makapaglaro. Just the schedule lang. It was a schedule. He was supposed to be bigla na-change yung actually pwede pa nga siyang umabot sana this time here. Kaya lang yung scheduling yung schedule lang niya na iba ng konti. So sabi ko, okay, sige, next time talaga. We were supposed to bring her talaga here. But the schedule was iba lang.
Wow, that's good to know. At least that's something to look forward to. Yan po mga kaibigan, si Coach Pat Aquino, may konti pa siya mga nabanggit tungkol sa paghahanda nila. But, well, again, sabi niya, sayang at hindi nakasama si Jack Animam, but certainly in the next couple of tournaments, especially next year, ay siguradong lalaro na ang ating women's player na ngayon ang naglalaro po as an import sa Serbia. Thank you so much kay Coach Pat Aquino. Before we take a break, gusto lang nating ipasok ang ating ang ating pagsilip sa pop culture and of course ang online viral sports videos sa ating Stop and Pop. Alright, ito pong ating ipapalabas na video ay nakita natin, no? Sabi nga, usong-uso yung skateboarding dahil kay Margie Didal. Ito, panoorin niyo po to, talagang makikita natin dito na all of a sudden, hindi na po si Margie Didal ang ating pinag-uusapan, kundi isang aso. Aba. Dahil narito na si Skater Dog. Hindi lang siya basta-basta aso, siya po ay marunong magbalanse habang dumadaan sa human art na kung saan pumapadyak pa para mapabilis ang kanyang pagsiskating. So move over, Margie Didal. Welcome, Skater Dog, sa ating Stop and Pop moment. Alright, nakakatuwa, no? Yan po ang ating mga nakukuha dito sa Power and Play. And we'll take a quick break. Sa aming pagbabalik, ang ating interview with the one and only 4-weight division champion and the reigning bantamweight champion of the world, Nonito Donaire. Dito po sa Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Binabati po natin lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig sa Bacolod City. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat dyan. And of course, sa lahat po ng ating mga suki sa San Pablo City. At this point, mga kaibigan, ipapasa natin ang ating feature story sa Power and Play ngayong umaga pong ito sa ating In the Spotlight. Siya po ang isa sa pinakamakulay na boksingero ng Pilipinas. At kamakailan, siya po ay muling nagbogi ng isang corona, the first or one of the few Filipino boxers to win a crown in 3 decades and the oldest one to win the bantamweight title in the history of boxing. Nakasama po natin the one and only, the Filipino Flash, and a four-weight division champion, Nonito Donaire Jr. Look who's with us, the WBC bantamweight champion of the world, and of course, one of the greatest Filipino fighters of all time, Nonito the Flash, the Filipino Flash, Donaire. Magandang araw, Nonito. Very good to see you.
Magandang araw din po. It's great. It's been a while.
Nonito, it's been a long time. And, you know, that first title and your recent title against Nordine Obali, what is the difference between the Nonito Donaire during that time, a world champion, and the Nonito Donaire, again now, world champion?
Ang difference siya is mautak na ako ngayon or may experience na eh. It's more of the experience that I have at saka just the overall aspect of looking at the fight game. Kasi parang hindi na yung batang energy. Yun na parang kahit sino ganito ganyan. It's about just being smart and strategic so that parang planning lang. Nagpa-planning palagi.
Even as a person, nagbago ba yun? Have you mellowed down? Are you still as driven as before?
I'm still very driven. Pag nagtitraining ako ng gusto. Always working hard. That's parang part of my personality yan eh. So training hard is always part of my game. So but aside from that, siguro mellow down lang ako yung speaking when I need to speak, reacting when I need to react. So parang ganun lang. It's just more of understanding myself rather than being reactive.
And of course, nagkapamilya ka, Nonito. Ngayon, may dalawa ka ng anak, si Gerald Michael and Gerald Logan. How has that changed you? I mean, ngayon, lalo na ngayon, pandemya. I'm sure you spend a lot of time with them and you even take them to school.
Yes, they're very smart. My eldest na-accelerate to a different grade.
Wow.
Because mautak eh. Hindi guys sa akin yun. It changed me a lot. Kasi dati yung is always a selfish persona na ako yung una. Ngayon, yung mga anak ko na yung una eh. You know, my wife and my kids, sila na yung una. Kung ano man yung nasa isip ko before na iniisip yung sarili ko, iniisip ko sila muna. So, just the whole dynamic of how I am thinking, lahat ng mga action ko is all driven by them. So, that's the biggest change.
Wow. It looks like you're enjoying fatherhood, Nonito. Are you seeing a little bit of yourself sa mga boys mo?
Both boys are a little bit of me here, a little bit of me of her there. Parang 50-50. Kasi yung bunso ko naman mapayat kagaya sa akin. At then yung the eldest has the same talent as me. Magaling mag-boxing pag tinitraining ko. My talent in learning, which is to see and mimic. Nandun yun sa eldest ko eh. Pero yung isa naman, yung bunso ko, has my physical attributes, but then yung pagka driven was similar to me. So parang both boys half and half talaga.
Mm-hmm. Would you encourage them? Just in case, sabihin, Papa, gusto ko rin mag-boxing. Would you encourage them to go into boxing?
I won't encourage them kasi alam ko na mahirap. Mahirap talaga yung boxing. At kailangan mo talagang maraming sakripisyo to get to a level. So kung gusto nila talaga, even I'll tell them not to. If they desire to do it, then susuportahan ko. But in the meantime, kung ma-push ko sila sa ibang sports or other things, then dun ko na lang gagawin. Kasi alam ko naman talaga mahirap talaga yung boxing.
Well, obviously mahirap talaga ang boxing pero nakita naman ng lahat at especially ng iyong pamilya kung gaano kalaking bagay sa buhay mo ang boxing, Nonito. And when you talk about that, marami kang napulot na leksyon throughout these years, training with your father, training with many, many great trainers, working with so many great people. Ano yung mga leksyon na napulot mo sa boxing in your career na ngayon ini-impart mo sa mga anak mo?
It's learning to take ownership of your past. Na kung ano man yung sinasabi ng mga tao, learn it, but don't judge it. And learn for yourself. Take the time kasi pag naghihintay ka lang palagi na tuturuan, bibigyan ng instruction, wala kang mapupuntahan. You have to take your path in your own hands. Na pag tatakbo ka ng 6 miles in the morning, gawin mo sa sarili mo, hindi lang na, my coach told me to run, or my coach told me ganito, ganyan. You have to do it for yourself. Because kung gusto mo talagang uunlad or aabot ng level of success, kailangan mong itulak mo yung sarili mo na hindi ka na kailangan sabihin kung anong gagawin.
Well, talking about that, yung pag-unlad, malinaw na aside from your children, ang pinakamalaking talagang motivation mo has been Rachel. The love of your life, the apple of your eye, and we've seen that, the way you adore her. I saw your post recently about Rachel being one of the 20 trailblazing women in Vegas, and truly a feat. Congratulations. How much has Rachel been a part of you and changed your life and influenced the way you are as a person and as a fighter?
As a person, she has just changed me in a very dynamic way. Kasi growing up poor in the Philippines, growing up mahirap din dito at sa Pilipinas, iba yung mentality eh. Yung isip ng mahirap when I was growing up is hindi kami, parang we were taught na wala kaming confidence, na hindi kami magaling kaysa yung ibang tao na may suporta. So growing up, I've always felt that way. Even when I became a world champion, I've always felt na hindi pa rin ako magaling. And she changed my mentality into loving myself, into being confident with myself. Kaya nga malayo yung naabot ko because doon ko na realize na mas magaling din ako kagaya ng ibang tao. I have a fair chance as everyone else. I'm as good as everyone else. But growing up, it was always felt na I would just do my best. I would just do my best. I would just do my best. But I never felt na I was as good as them. So it was the realization when she came into my life that she made me realize I'm as good as anyone else. As long as I train harder, all the things that I've done. So one thing that I am very grateful for is her will to make me better, not just a man, not just a fighter, but the constant, parang tinuruan ako na each day may matutunan ako. So that got me to be the better person.
Well, she has been a big part of your success, obviously. Sabi mo nga, marami siyang binigay na kumpiyansa sa iyo. But at the same time, you have also been a big part of her. And, the way you fight for her, the way you stand up for her. At yan ay kitang-kita dito sa issue ninyo ni John Riel Casimero. And I wanna segue to that, Nonito. Alam natin na nadamay si Rachel dito. She was put in the middle of all of these. But in the end, it was really about, and that's your position, about VADA, and about all of the documentation that was happening. First of all, let me ask you, you mentioned in one of your posts that you stand for VADA, you stand against bullying, you stand against disrespect and abuse of women and children, and you stand against misogynistic culture. How important was it for you in this particular issue to make that stand?
Kaya nga, for me, we made a decision during that time because I stand for those particular things you mentioned, and it's because of what she has done for me throughout the years, through all the time na kasama ko siya, all the things she's learned. Hindi lang ngayon nakikita niyo na I'm protecting her, but throughout this time she's always protected me. This is kumbaga just a little part of what she's done for me. You know, as a man now, I have to stand to protect her and my family. But ultimately, I've always stood with fairness, fairness in the game by drug testing, as well as fairness in people's equality. Kung ano man, mahirap, mayaman, to me, ganun pa rin. Ang tingin ko sa kanila, there's no difference. Bullying just because na maliit ka, mapayat ka, or wala. Um, for me, everyone is fair, and that's why I've always looked at life in that particular way because for me, I want to inspire people because I was inspired to be the person that I am today. So parang
Well,
ganun yung isip ko.
And obviously, nagawa mo yan. In this, although it may not have been intended dahil ito'y tungkol sa inyo ni Casimero, pero yan ang naging mensahe sa mundo tungkol kay Nonito Donaire about standing up on these principles. So let's talk about the Casimero matter now. Ano ba ang latest dyan, Nonito? Are you what we're reading is that nagsorry na daw sa iyo si John Riel Casimero and you have accepted that, but the fight seems to be still in limbo. Ano ba ang latest sa usapan ninyo kung meron man?
Well, ang ano ngayon is alam ko na may issue sila sa promotion nila. Sa kanila yung usapan nila yun eh. But right now we are both mandated to fight our mandatories. So yun lang, and to go on beyond that, after each of us got pagtapos na yung mandatory, then we can resume the talks. But for now, kaming dalawa ay may mandatory from our sanctioning. So yun muna ang kailangan naming harapan.
May nabanggit ka again in one of your posts na yung mga mandatory pwede namang ikutan yan or whatever, no? And of course, we're talking about Raymart Garballo na mandatory challenger mo as the WBC has already imposed, no? But I mean, honestly, would you prefer to fight Casimero rather than Garballo?
Not to disrespect Raymart, I think he's a great fighter. Kasi ako naman gusto ko talaga yung makunin yung lahat ng mga belts. Kasi wala pa talagang Pilipino na nagiging undisputed. Yun yung goal ko ngayon. Kasi not only that, yan lang talaga ang hindi ko natupad bilang isang boksingero. Lahat ko na nakuha ko na yung multiple division, multiple world champion, knockout of the year, fighter of the year, lahat ng natupad ko na yun, except for becoming undisputed. So yun yung pinaka main motivation at saka inspiration for me. Kaya nga nag-train ako ng gusto.
So in other words, it's still possible na kayo ni John Riel ang maglalaban, but again, ang pinag-uusapan naman ngayon yung kontrata daw. So again, from your camp, has the contract been sent to the camp ng mga Casimero?
From what my promoter have stated, na ipinadala na nila to their camp. So, but then sabi nila na hindi nila nakuha. So for me, the promoter has no reason to lie to me about it. So and we know from face to face with on a chat with Casimiro na may issue sila internally sa promotion
Mhm.
nila. So before anything na kung ano man yun, kung matutuloy man or to resume the negotiation, um, they have to resolve that issue first.
All right. Well, maganda yung sinabi mo, Nonito, that there is still that goal for you. Yung makuha lahat ng belt, since no one has ever done that sa mga Pinoy, yung undisputed champion of a particular weight class. You also failed to say something. You are the oldest champion in the bantamweight division in the history of boxing. So talagang lahat nakuha mo na except that undisputed. And talking about that, you're a champion at 38, pushing 39. And I'm sure you're proud of it because with the way you're moving, you look like you're 30, Nonito. Mukhang hindi ka pa nagsuslow down. But the question is, alam mo, dumadami yung mga ganyang klaseng boksingero na you're winning at this level, at this age. Anong sikreto? What do you think? What is your secret, Nonito? Bakit parang you're aging like good wine?
Ang ano kasi as we go in time, iba-iba na yung nutrition science behind the body. So during the time back in the days, wala pa yung mga ganun eh. This time meron na mga strength and conditioning, meron na mga nutrition, meron na mga supplements. So lahat ng mga anti-aging nandito na eh. So the reason why na marami ng mga may edad as a fighter, lumalaban pa rin in a competitive way is because of all of this science coming into play.
And yet, Nonito, ikaw, you're amazing dahil ikaw hindi ka paakyat ng timbang. Bumababa ka, umaakyat ka, bumababa ka. And that's just so difficult as you age. Ano yan? Paano yun? I mean, really, I'm amazed because, as I grow old, ang metabolism ko humihina. But ikaw, parang bumabata ka na bumabata. So, is that difficult to do? And are you now settled? Ito na lang ako. Hanggang dito na ako sa bantamweight.
For now, unless there's a probable offer in a higher division. Pero ngayon, mas komportable ako dito sa timbang na to. At the reason for that is, again, mga supplements. Dati we had to rely on just our body.
All right, mga kapatid, yan po ang panayam with the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire. Of course, meron pa siyang nabanggit na konti. He said that wala na siyang dapat patunayan sa kanyang career. And there's one fight that he's looking forward to, yung pong laban kay Inoue na tumalo sa kanya. And he's hoping that could be a legacy fight for him. Maraming salamat kay Nonito and of course kay Rachel Donaire who arranged that particular interview. Maraming salamat and good luck. We certainly hope na yung susunod na laban niya sa Disyembre ay again maging very, very successful. Gusto ko lang pong pasalamatan lahat na nagpadala ng kanilang opinion doon sa ating pinupulsuhan, si Jimboy Paquirin, Justin Lagardo, Doc Aga Mohe, si Estan, at marami pang iba, si Alex Fuentes, Ramil Salceda. Marami po salamat. Hopefully mabasa natin to sa mga susunod na panahon at we will acknowledge this of course sa ating mga Facebook pages. Alright mga kapatid, that'll do it for us this Saturday morning. Again, nagpapasalamat kami sa lahat sa inyo na muling tumutok sa Power and Play. Tandaan niyo po sa lahat ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei Gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid. More power, more play.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know is T1? Simple, smart ako.